Example 7, we're asked to find the rates, or in other words, the slope. Okay, so when we see this word rate, we should be thinking slope. So we're going to work out the slope and we want the units. So when I do this, I want to choose a couple points that are really nice. So I'm going to choose this point here. It looks like this is 2 seconds. And I'm going to choose maybe this point here. It looks like it's about 6 seconds. Okay, and that gives me the y values at 60 and 200. So from there, I have my slope. Now we can use other points if we like, but these ones look like to be the most accurate ones. So we're going to use these ones. And we're going to find the difference or subtract the y coordinates. So we end up going up 140 meters. And this happened across 6 minus 2 or 4 seconds. Okay, so we're going to have our slope ratio, which is our rate, works out to be 140 meters for 4 seconds. We can write this as a unit rate by dividing, and when we divide, we get 35 meters per second. So that's our rate, and we have our units. For this next one here, it looks like our Y values is the cost of production of pencils. The X is the number of pencils made. We have kind of a couple nice coordinates here, it looks like. We're just going to maybe draw through here like that. And we're going to estimate our values here. Okay, that looks like it's about 100, 200, 300, 500, 600. So 0 to 600 is going to be our run. Our rise, it looks like it's from $20 all the way up to, looks like $170. Okay, so our rise is going to be plus $150. Okay, this is pencils. So our rate or our slope is going to be $150 for 600 pencils. That's our rate. We can write this as a unit rate when we divide this. So we divide to get a unit rate. It's going to be 25 cents per pencil, or $0.25 per pencil. For these ones we're being asked to graph. When we're being asked to graph, it's usually easier to graph it in the y equals mx plus b form or the point slope form. So I'm going to first of all solve for the y. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, add y to both sides. So I end up with y equals mx plus b. So I can make a table of values here to help myself out, okay? But for the most part, this is probably pretty easy to graph because when I graph this, my y-intercept is at -1, and I have a slope of 2, so I'm just going to go 1 over 2 up, 1 over 2 up, 1 over 2 up. Okay, and we can use that slope, and then we can connect those dots through that slope. Okay, I think I'll just try that again. That didn't look very good. So my slope is going to pass through those points. Okay, so there's the equation of my line. This one here is in the point slope form, so our x-coordinate is 4, our y-coordinate is 3. Sometimes we see this written as y equals x minus 4, and then the 3 shows up on that side. So there's my point at 4, 3. And then I can just use the slope. It goes down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Okay, and it's going to follow that slope. And so once we have that slope, starting at that point, we have all the points we really need. So I just draw in my straight line through there. Okay, again, try that again. Okay, so there's my slope through those points. In C, we've been given the coefficients as fractions. So there's a few ways we can do this. So one way we can do this is to get rid of the fractions by multiplying everything by the lowest common denominator. Okay, so we have, if I multiply everything by 12, I'm going to get rid of the fraction parts of this. So I get 12x divided by 3, which gives us 4x, minus, and then 12y divided by 4 gives us 3y, and that's going to be equal to 12. We can then solve for the y, so I end up with 3y is equal to 4x plus 12, so minus 12. Okay, and then solving for y, I'm going to end up with y equals 4 over 3x minus 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. So I have a slope of 4 over 3 and a y-intercept of negative 4. So that would be one way to do this, and I can graph it, my point at negative 4 and use my slope to graph this. I'm also going to show you an alternate way to do this. And this is a quick way to do this, but maybe it's a little bit different than normal. And it's using the intercepts. So using the intercepts, I can plug in x is 0. And by doing that, this term here goes to 0. And I just have to figure out some y multiplied by 1 over 4 is going to equal positive 1. Well, that means that if x is 0, I need y equals negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 1/4 is positive 1. So we can find the y-coordinate from that point. We could also do the x-intercept when y is 0. So I'm going to plug in y is 0. When y is 0, this becomes 0. And then I just have to figure out some number times x equals 1. Sorry, some number x times 1/3 equals 1. Well, that number's got to be 3. So by plugging in zeros and calculating intercepts, I get 2 points at x equals negative 4, y equals 3, and I can then draw in my graph through those 2 points. So my graph then is going to look like that. Okay, and that has a slope of 4 over 3. Okay, you can see the slope in the slope triangle. Okay, I'll sketch in the slope triangle here. There's my 4 over 3. And the y-intercept's at negative 4, which is what I have here. In part D, this is in general form. So general form is a form that we could use this finding zeros or the intercept coordinates to graph. So we could make this into y equals mx plus b. So in doing that, it would look like this. I would solve for the y. So I get 5x plus 10 equals positive 2y. Y equals 5 divided by 2x plus 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I have a y-intercept at 5 and a slope of 5 over 2. Now, because it's in the general form, we could try the intercept form of this. By plugging in x is 0, that eliminates that term, and we just need to find some number times y. So y times negative 2 is going to be added to 10 equals 0, or basically what number times y is going to give us, or what number times negative 2 is going to give us negative 10. So that number is going to be y equals 5. We could solve for that if you like. You can just go 10 is equal to 2y, y is equal to 5. And then we can do the same for the y-intercept. Make y equal to 0. That's going to make this term 0, and we get 5x plus 10 equals 0. 5x equals negative 10. X is equal to negative 2. So negative 2, positive 5 are my intercepts. So I have a point here. I have a point here. You can see that that's going to give me a slope of 5 over 2. Okay. It's going to give me a slope of 5 over 2, which I have here. Y-intercept at 5, which I have here. And they're drawing my point through my line through those points is going to give me the whole line, which is the graph of that line. We can do it in slope-intercept form, or we can do the general form and find the x-intercept and y-intercept and graph it using those 2 points as well. So either way will give us the same graph.